Why should you be the next mayor of Colorado Springs?
Well, I'm just a guy. I think most of these political positions, especially local government, needs to be held by people in the community, people that got skin in the game, people that do the stuff, people that fund it. The Bank of the People should be representing the Bank of the People. We pay for everything, we fund everything, and we get very little return on everything. You know, we need to be represented. We kind of get forgotten, to be honest with you. All the working people, all the small businesses, everybody in town. I mean, it just should be us. No more career politicians, no more rich people that are out of touch, that don't do the stuff we do. I mean, it just should be people that actually want to get what we paid for. So that's basically what I think. It just should be the communities representing the community.
Yeah. One of your priorities that you've laid out is fixing the roads in Colorado Springs. There's a couple of different funding sources already in place. Tell me what you want to prioritize and what funding sources you either want to take away or add to accomplish that.
Okay, well, honestly, with the roads and stuff, well, what do we have, like 10 local paving companies in town, 10 or 20, something like that? And we got, what, 2 asphalt mills within 30 miles of us, 40 miles of us. So I think with a lot of it, what we need to do is look at a lot of the local businesses, keep our money in town, obviously, because that always helps. If we don't keep our money in town, then we're not prospering ourselves as a whole. And we should be looking at a lot of the local paving companies to see what they do, get the people that are experts. I'm not an expert at asphalt, but the roads need to be paved, they need to be maintenance, they need to be sealed. Even when the snowplows are coming through, they need to at least have the rubber stops, because how many times do you see them just sparking up and ripping up every patch or tearing up every overlay? I'm not a big fan of 2C because there's already a budget in place for maintaining the roads, and I have the sense, and I think everybody else does, that the Bank of the People's been funding this stuff and we don't get any, they're not doing it. And they just leave it to the last minute and then go, oh, we need more money. It just seems kind of, no matter what we do, or the taxes or the budgets that are already in place don't seem to be adhered to by any means. They ask for more money all the time. It's pretty annoying and kind of irritating, and it kind of makes us distraught. It makes us lose faith, makes us lose faith in our local government, our local system, this stuff that's supposed to just be taken care of, right?
So it kind of sounds like once those funding sources end, you would rather just see them sunset than go to the taxpayers or the voters to renew again.
We pay for enough stuff. What is it, 43 to 67% of our money goes to a tax somehow? I mean, we're not really underpaid, we're overtaxed at this point. We should be getting what we pay for.
Got it. Tell me a little bit about what you mean by rational solutions for the homeless community in Colorado Springs. What does that look like for you?
So I think with a lot of the homelessness stuff, it's turned into a profiteering setup with the charities, the nonprofits, even the government entities that are supposed to help. Well, what was it, 5-6 years ago, we paid $1 million or something for a homeless shower trailer thing, and you can't be just throwing money at stuff. I've never worked on a car, opened the hood, thrown money in it and go, oh, it's fixed. It doesn't work that way. We have to keep the humanity in this stuff. We need to look at helping the veterans, number one. The veterans did their part. They did their piece. They helped, It's try to take care of them first. The parks aren't campgrounds. That's for the kids to be playing at. We can't go to the park and just throw our stuff there and go, I'm camping out and this is where I'm at, and make a mess. And to be rational with it, we got to be realistic. We have to look at it and go, all right, which charities, which nonprofits are actually helping? Which ones are not? Let's do a little more, what did Reagan say? Trust but verify? Sure, you might be saying you're doing something, but let's go make sure you're actually delivering. The shelters, there's no heat, they're to have non-running water, leaking ceilings, it's not good. And we need to go talk to the people that are in the homeless community and actually talk to them. Be like, how come you're homeless? What's going on? Did you just move here to be homeless? Why would you just move here to be homeless? You do live here, your family's here, let's contact your family, let's see what's kind of going on. Let's see what skills or talents you may or may not have and why. So I think a lot of it's just looking at it instead of just keeping the problem going. It doesn't help. Plus, we need to make sure we're not just releasing from the jails, the prisons, or any of that stuff, the pedophiles, the rapists, because we release them if they're homeless. That's not helping. That's taking one problem and compiling it into another one. And when they look at it, they don't want to, it seems like nobody wants to really solve it. They just want it going on, so they keep getting funding or money. And what do most solutions take? Effort. It takes the effort, the time, and just the humanity in it, going, hey, it's still people. Everybody's got something going on. Nobody's really trying to help, it seems like. But I think a lot of people in the community really do want to help each other. Nobody wants to see somebody out sleeping in the cold and the snow. We got a storm coming in Wednesday, right? Nobody wants to see a bunch of people out in the cold and the storm. Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
So,
but you haven't pinpointed specific programs that you want to eliminate or revamp then.
we'd have to look at the charities and stuff and see if they're delivering first and go from there. You can't just start adding stuff and think that's better. Adding things doesn't make it any better. I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the charities. I really don't. I don't know all the government programs, but we need to make sure that they're implemented and actually producing what they're getting.
Let's talk a little bit about water supply
Okay.
in Colorado Springs. What do you think needs to be the policy for our current and future water supply in the city?
They're talking, what are they saying, 130, 130%?
128, yeah.
120? Okay.
28, excuse me.
Okay,
Yeah.
128. How long have we been in a drought? What's the old Colorado contract for the water? It's, what, over 100 years old for the water being shipped and sold all over the place? I think we need to be rational and realistic with the water. We need to make sure we have plenty more. What's 28%? That's a water main breaks, we could lose 28% pretty quick. A fire, we got to use it to put out a fire. We could lose 28% real quick if something happens. I don't think it's honestly enough. I think the people need to decide, look at it, be more rational and thinking about what can we do. If we don't have water, we don't have a community. We don't have a society. We'll turn into what? Arizona and New Mexico? Don't they have a bunch of stuff they built and there wasn't water for a bunch of places? That's not a good idea. We just need to look at all of it. We need to talk to the people that they do this for a living. They look at water supplies. They look at the sources. They look how many people, how many buildings, how many businesses, how many houses can supply with what water there is. I don't think just building randomly and just going and just, oh, well, we're just going to keep going and going. Because what happens too? The people, we pay for all of it. There's a drought, we get charged more for water. There's water waste charges, all these extra charges for it, and always turns into a charge, and we get stuck paying for it. So
are you saying that decision in terms of the surplus should be left up to the experts with Colorado Springs Utilities, or should it be left up to voters?
I think it should be a combination of both, and I think the people should always have a say in it, obviously, but we need to really look at people that are non-biased. They're not bought and paid for by any entities or anything. They're really looking at it, that going, hey, there's enough, there's not enough, or we have enough for this, and realistically, we might be close to as big as we can be as a city with the water supply. But we need to actually be thinking about that stuff. That's more long term. That's not now. That's looking 10, 20 years down the line. So I'm not the expert at it.
Do you support the extension of the top sales tax that's on the ballot in April?
No.
Okay, why not?
I'm just like everybody else that works every day. Every time there's a new tax, we feel like it doesn't get delivered. That's pretty much it.
Got it. So you're just saying blanket no tax increases?
None.
Then.
Get what we paid for first and then start moving on to new things. I mean, how many times do we ask for another tax? All the time.
Yeah.
And
this is a tax that's already in place.
And
yeah.
I think we're good. This is the one for the trails and stuff, correct? Yeah. We need to be better people. If we can pick up the trails and we use them, maintain it. I mean, I can grab my truck and trailer and go walk up and down the trails and pick up the garbage and put it in the dumpster myself and grab a shovel and a rake. I still can't find a shovel that don't fit in my hands. I've been looking, can't find one, but I can go make it better myself. We can all go just take care of the stuff we use, and that's probably a much better, feasible now and affordable idea.
Yeah. Our time is coming to an end. We are in the final minute.
Okay.
So I do want to give you the opportunity to make a closing statement here to our viewers of anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like to add.
I think the town, our city, it needs to be safer. It needs to be better. We need to, there's stuff going on that nobody deals with on a day-to-day. Us regular people, we deal with a lot of the problems. We deal with the vagrants, the homeless, the addicts, the thieves. We got sex offenders, pedophiles, rapists in our neighborhoods we have to deal with to watch our own kids even come out of town. I'm real big on making sure all the pedophiles and rapists are honestly 5 miles away from the schools and 5 miles away from all the victims. And some of them are fairly successful, I'm discovering, with the more reading and looking and checking I am into it, that if they do live in the communities, they need to be voted in by the whole block, not just some generic news ad and they go, oh, you didn't know, we paid it on the news. That's why this is in your neighborhood. And you're like, you didn't come talk to any of us. But the ones that are successful, they should be charged 4 times on their taxes, which means like their car registrations, if they have a business, their business tax, their property tax, and so forth. Their victims never get over this stuff. And none of us should be worrying about our kids walking the dog around the block or hanging out with their friends or their cousins or whatever from school and going to the park and playing or something.